Alright guys, hey, what's up guys, Gemini, back with another video. Do another review today, and today we're going to take a look at one of the most requested DVDs that people hit me up for all the time and want me to review, and that's Hard Knocks, the Chris Benoit story. People all the time say, hey Jim, will you review the Hard Knocks? And absolutely I will. I'll just say ahead of time, I don't condone anything he did to his family. I don't condone this man at all. But I will give credit where credit is due. It was a great DVD. So at this time, let's review the Chris Benoit, the Hard Knocks DVD. Let's get into it, Daddy. Alright, here we go with the Chris Benoit DVD. Hard Knocks. This one was released in 2004. I've had this DVD for like 10 years or something. I remember buying it when it first came out. And it was actually really good. I mean, as much as everyone hates Benoit for what he did to his family, you can never discount what the DVD was all about, and it was actually really good. It's a 2-disc set. Pretty much it'll run you through, we start it and run you through the early years, or run you through some of his Japan wrestling with Eddie Guerrero and his ECW days in 1995, his WCW days. You know, his WCW days. Such talent, so good in the ring. United States heavyweight champion, and WCW would just never push him properly. And on the DVD, he actually explains to you what a screwed up company WCW was, and how much he hated being there, and how he hated coming to work. And I mean, I can remember at the end there towards WCW, they only gave him the title from Sid at Sold Out because they didn't want him to leave. But he wound up going to the WWE in 2000. That was definitely the best career decision that he ever made. WWE, all the matches he did with Kurt Angle, like in Boston 2003 Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 17, which I was there to see. It's all talked about on this DVD. Royal Rumble 2003 with Kurt Angle was probably one of the best matches I ever saw. And finally having his breakthrough at the Royal Rumble 2004. That was in Philadelphia. And going an hour, tossing out the Big Show at the end. Then, of course, you know, his career-defining moment was at WrestleMania 20 in March of 2004, when he eventually won the World Heavyweight title. You know what's cool about this DVD, honestly, in my opinion, is when they show him going back to the old Edmonton Arena, you know, where it all got started for him. That's where Chris Benoit's origins were from, was Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. You know, and this DVD also interviews his family members, talks about what he was like when he was a kid, and he's such a quiet kid, and how he got into bodybuilding, and there was a lot of good stuff with Chris Benoit pre-2007. You know, that he had a great career. He was always one of the fan favorites. Let's put it that way. He was always a wrestler that a lot of people looked up to, and some of the matches on here are just tremendous wrestling battles. Pegasus Kid versus Jushin Thunder Liger, master of the Liger Bomb, master of the running Liger Bomb. Jushin Thunder Liger, this is back in 1990, so you had Hulk Hogan on top of the world. 1990, Chris Benoit just working his way up, and he would get there. It took him a little while, but he got there. Benoit versus Too Cold Scorpio, Super Brawl 93. That was a great match. You can catch that on the WWE Network. Chris Benoit versus Black Tiger, 94. Chris Benoit versus The Great Suzuki, 94. Chris Benoit versus Sabu, and November to Remember 94. Chris Benoit versus Al Snow in ECW, and he had some battles in ECW. Cut some great promos, and it's all talked about here on this DVD. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, they had so many battles. It's just, the wrestling was just off the charts. One of my favorite Chris Benoit matches was versus the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan, at Great American Bash 96. They had all kinds of fights. They had this one, they had a San Francisco Street fight, a Super Brawl 97. Just awesome. Chris Benoit and Booker T had a good rivalry in WCW, and they wrestled Great American Bash 98. Best of 7 finals. You don't see Best of 7 series anymore, but those two were talented enough to have 7 different matches. Chris Benoit versus Bret Hart, the Owen Hart tribute match in Kansas City in 99. It did like really bad ratings, but the match between him and Bret was really good. Chris Benoit versus Sid Vicious at Sold Out 2000. That's where they gave him the belt just to keep him, but he wound up leaving, and I don't blame him for leaving WCW. That was a screwed up place. Chris Benoit and William Regal in 2000. Those two They were friends. Very close friends. Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, steel cage match. That's the one where Kurt Angle does the moonsault off the top of the cage backwards. Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle, Royal Rumble 2003. The wrestling was just phenomenal. And the triple threat match. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chris Benoit. Shawn Michaels worked so hard in that match. And then Benoit wound up tapping out Triple H. At the end, the neck injury from 2001, he broke his neck in the ring. Crossface collection and Raw cover shoot. I mean, what do you really say about this DVD except if you want to get to know like all the trials and tribulations of Chris Benoit, everything he went through in his career, all the highs, all the lows, if you want to get to know his family a little bit, if you want to get to know the man behind, the wrestler, then this is definitely the DVD for you. Obviously, he was a big star in WCW. They never knew how to use him and push him correctly. And he became a mega star in the WWF. And he exists. And you could blur Chris Benoit all you want. After what happened, everybody hates Chris Benoit for everything that happened. People are always going to be mad at Benoit, and I don't blame him, rightfully so. I mean, he murdered his family. Everyone's always going to never look at Chris Benoit the same. He'll never be in the Hall of Fame. He'll never be talked about again on WWE Network, or he'll never be talked about on wrestling, period. He'll never be in the Hall of Fame. He'll never have any of those accolades. So this DVD will be the only way that you can keep any kind of memory of Chris Benoit, unless you have some old matches on tape. This will be the only way you can keep any memory of the way he was in the ring. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, I met this man in 2005, and I complimented his title run in 2004. He was a humble guy. He was a good wrestler. Just unfortunate, tragic ending. Went kind of crazy there at the end, and things kind of went south. But that's the man himself. That's Chris Benoit. I haven't watched this DVD since the thing happened. I haven't watched this DVD in over 5-6 years, and I don't have any more plans on watching it because I'm not the biggest fan of the guy after what happened. But I am a fan of this DVD. It's a collector's item. It's rare. It's a good thing to have in your collection. And if you don't have it, pick up the Hard Knocks Chris Benoit story. And thank you for watching this. I'm Gemini. I'm out.